This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 34 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Enjoy today's tip. I am Glenn the Geek here from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're listening to Horse Tip Daily. Today we are thrilled to have back with us internationally respected trainer and clinician with experience in many types of training, Julie Goodnight. Julie is best known for her award-winning television series airing weekly on RFD TV, Horsemaster with Julie Goodnight. Through the show, Julie hopes to help riders master their equestrian dreams and skills. As the horse master, Julie shares the wisdom she's gained by reaching her master-level CHA status, and she encourages all horse people to become the leaders and masters their horses want and deserve. Natural horsemanship is founded on an understanding the horse behavior and the idea that horses look for leadership, direction, and assurance that they're safe and acting appropriately. Julie strives to teach you how to master that ideal and emphasizes the importance of lifelong learning. Well, now let's get Julie on the line. Well, hi, Julie. Welcome back to Horse Tip Daily. We appreciate you being here.
Well, thanks, Glenn. It's good to be back.
You know, we're getting good reactions to your tips. And you know what? So far, I'll tell you what, I've been 2 for 2. Every time you come on with a tip, I've been doing it incorrectly. So I'm learning, and I appreciate you teaching all of us how to better really get in touch with our horse.
Sure. Well, it's not so much about doing things right or doing things wrong as it is about doing things better. And, you know, none of us hopefully ever reach a stage, myself included, where we quit learning. And that's one of the greatest things about this sport is you'll never know everything
Right.
there is. Just, as soon as you think you do, a horse will prove you wrong.
Exactly. Well, and you know, that's the reason we're doing this show is I thought, what's a better way than doing one tip a day that's easy for people to listen to, that we can get the word out there about the right way to do things. Now, whether they choose to do it that way or not, that's up to them. But
Yep.
All right, so what do you have for us today?
Well, I'd like to talk, Glenn, today about trailering safety. And as I watch people load and unload their horses at clinics, I see a lot of scary stuff. And, you know, trailering horses is pretty much a high-risk proposition. And anybody who's done much of it has probably had something go wrong, either in the loading or unloading.
And why is it that when you're trying to load a horse and you've got it under control, you know what you're doing, there's always 10 people who can do it better around you.
Yeah, and they want to come up and offer their help without even asking.
It's like a magnet.
Yeah, it is, and that can really cause a lot of problems. But there's a few things to just think about in terms of keeping your horse safe in the trailer. One is that although I'm a very big proponent of rope halters, I use them in my training program. I sell them. We use them daily on our horses. I would never trailer a horse in a rope halter for a couple of reasons. One is that the rope halter will not break, and
Right.
unless you have a really cheap one.
Cheap one, yeah.
But most quality rope halters are made with very high tensile rope, and a horse is not going to be able to break the rope. And so if something goes wrong, the horse falls down in the trailer, you, heaven forbid, have a wreck or something like that, we want him to be in a halter that breaks.
Right.
So using, I use a safety halter that actually has a Velcro release or a leather halter that has some sort of breakaway. The other reason I wouldn't want to use a rope halter in a trailer is we know for a fact the horse is going to get off balance in the trailer. No matter how good a driver you are, you're going to mess up at some point, and he's going to you're going to brake a little bit too hard or turn a little bit too fast, and he is going to lose his balance. And if he's tied in the trailer in a rope halter, he hits that halter, and it makes him uncomfortable through no fault of his own. And rope halters are a great training device for that purpose. So when I add a little snap to the rope, it puts pressure on the horse's face as a correction. But we don't want to be correcting him just because he lost his balance because we were doing a poor job of driving.
We don't want to be correcting him for 300 miles in the horse trailer.
Exactly. So we want to make him as comfortable as possible in the trailer. I always have my horses tied in the trailer. I never leave them loose in the trailer. And the reason why is I want to know exactly where he is. And if that trailer goes to shaking around and thumping around, I know it's because my horse has a problem, not because he's just wandering around in the trailer or trying to turn around. And if you've ever left a horse untied in a trailer, they have this uncanny ability to get themselves halfway turned around and stuck, or kind of get in a bind. So I like to keep my horses tied. I know they're going to hit the end of that rope when they lose their balance, so I want them to be in a comfortable halter that they can lean against if they have to without paying a penalty.
And I've seen so many people. You talked about not using the rope halter. I've also seen people using like triple stitch leather halters, which have a tendency to not break as quickly.
Exactly.
We always use the single or triple thick leather halters. We always use just the single leather halter. It's not triple thick. Do you believe in breakaway ties?
Yes, and the important thing is people generally put the breakaway on the wrong end. We want that breakaway to be not at the horse's head, but at the other end, so that if you release it, the horse still has a lead on him.
Yes.
And also, if you do need to go in there and release that, if the horse is in a dangerous position, he's fallen down or something, you probably don't want to get that close to him to be able to release his head. So it's going to be easier to release if it's at the other end, and not at the trailer end, not the head end. But and speaking of having horses tied in a trailer, another really fundamental safety rule is that you never tie a horse in the trailer until the door is closed, and you never open the door until the horse is untied. And I've seen some nasty wrecks happen that way because what happens is if you tie a horse, if the horse is tied in the trailer and the door is open and he tries to back out, then he hits the end of that rope. He might have a panic attack at that point and start flailing. But the worst thing that can happen is he gets his back legs out of the trailer and then discovers he's tied, and he pulls back and his legs go under the trailer. Horses, you can really easily break a horse's leg that way. So always shut the door before you tie the horse, and then untie him before you open the door.
I think that was actually a darn good. We've actually had a couple tips today, but I think that was probably the best one, and we've all seen the nightmare scenarios of what happens when you don't.
Yeah, it's a simple thing, but people need to be taught that. Otherwise, they discover it through a wreck, and that's not what we want people to do. That's why we're doing these daily tips.
Well, use a shipping-safe halter is the first one. We have 2 today, and also close the door before you untie or tie.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Julie. We appreciate you being on. Where can people find out more about you?
Well, the best way is through my website, which is juliegoodnight.com. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter, and I have a daily blog as well that you can get to through my website. And that's where you can kind of catch up on what I'm doing and hear some behind-the-scenes kind of stuff about what it's like to do what I do, or things that I see that I think are interesting. So,
well, you do a great blog, too, I must say.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you do a great blog. I read it. I actually read one recently, and I think we talked about it. You write emotional blogs occasionally, too. So
yeah, I write what comes to my heart and comes to my mind. So.
All right, well, thanks, Julie, and we'll see you again soon.
You bet.
Julie will be back with us periodically with a variety of practical and useful training tips. If you like Julie and want to learn more about her, it's juliegoodnight.com. She was also one of the most popular guests we've ever had on the Stable Scoop radio show. You can listen to that interview at stablescoop.com, episode 40. Well, if you'd like to drop me an email, you can do so at Glenn with 2 N's at horseradionetwork.com. And you can subscribe to the show through iTunes or Zune. I say this every day, and I know I'm getting repetitive, but we have new people joining us every day here on the show, and I just want to make sure that they understand that you can get these shows automatically downloaded every day to your iPod or your MP3 player. And you can do that just by going to the website at horsetipdaily.com and click on the iTunes or Zune link. And that'll put it into your iTunes, and it'll be downloaded. Whenever a new show comes out, it'll be downloaded, and you'll be able to listen on your iPod while you clean stalls, while you ride your horse, while you do the dishes, one of those things. So you can just do that right there. You can also follow us on Facebook. Just search for Horse Tip Daily, or follow us on Twitter at Horse Radio. And don't forget to check out all the other great shows on the network at horseradionetwork.com. Well, I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone.